Hello everybody, and today we're doing our 200 subscriber special, What If Deku Was Rayquaza, Part 1. This is also another highly suggested What If. It was suggested by my brother and someone named Leon in the comments, and they've been a good suggester. They suggested the Mewtwo one, and that one was insanely popular, so shout out to you, Leia. Anyway, we are at 200 subs, as you guys know, and my goal was to hit it by the end of February. It's not February. Well, by the time I upload this, it probably will be, but right now it's January 31st where I am. So, thank you guys so much. The support we've been getting recently is so good. I was not expecting to already hit 200. Maybe by the end of the summer, we could get 1,000. That is the end goal for the end of the summer. If you guys can beat that goal, you have officially flabbergasted me. Anyway, let's get on to the prologue for this. So, Deku is actually named Ray in this What If. Ray, R-A-Y, for Rayquaza. He has two friends, one named Kai, and and spelled K-Y for Kyogre. And as you can imagine, water quirk. And he also has this other kid friend named Don, D-O-N. It is spelled weird, yeah. And he has rock powers, as you'd imagine. And Deku, he usually breaks up their fights because they have a little rivalry. And Deku's powers are a lot stronger than theirs together. Even when they're in their primal state, which is basically like them going full power. And Deku even has a form, but it's much stronger than both their primals combined by far. So, we end the prologue right there, and on to the video. Anyway, we start this off at Deku at 4 years old. He's playing with his friends when all of a sudden Ray asks Don, Kai asks Ray, hey, Ray, okay, I need to stop stuttering. Anyway, Deku suddenly manifests his quirk, and he shoots some stars at, I'll be right back, guys. And Deku suddenly, while Ray and Don were fighting, why do I keep saying Ray? Kai and Don, they are fighting, and Deku suddenly uses air slash, and Kai gets hit by it and is like, hey, what the heck, Ray? How do you do that? And Deku is looking at his hands like, how did I do that? And then he thinks about it again, and he does it, except this time to Kai again, and Kai's like, stop that, as he starts yelling at Deku, and Don doesn't know what's happening, like, wait, how are you doing that? And that's when suddenly Deku sees a patch. Well, okay, so I'm going to establish some ground rules. Deku will be female in this one. Just all three of them are female. Their entire friend group. This will make sense later. No, remember, guys, no ships. Nothing weird happening here. And just so this image makes sense. So, they all start arguing like, I don't know, why are you yelling at me? And they all start bickering, and that's when suddenly the person's in charge of the daycare has to come over and stop their fight. And the next day, they all wake up looking like this. And Deku, when he wakes up, Inko walks into his room and is like, hey, Ray, are you awake? And Deku's like, yeah, I'm awake, Ma. And Inko screams like, who are you? You are not my daughter. And Deku's like, it is me, Ma. It's me, Ray. And Inko's like, prove it. What's your father's name? And Deku's like, oh, that's an easy one. Hisashi Midoriya. And Inko's like, it really is you. How'd this happen? And Deku's like, it must be my quirk. And that's when all three of them at the same time arrive at the quirk doctor. And Deku looks at Ray and Kai. Kai and Dawn. And he's like, oh, you guys look so cool. And Dawn's like, I know. And Kai smacks him on the head her on the head like, be quiet, Dawn. And they start bickering until their parents have to break them up. And they all walk in at the same time into the hospital, in the quirk doctor. And they all get their exams together. And after that, they're all waiting in a chair. And Kai and Dawn are bickering like, hey, give me more space. And Ray just hits them like, be quiet, guys. And the quirk doctor comes back, and all the parents are waiting patiently. And the doctor's like, well, it seems that Kai's quirk is a water one, and they can also swim kind of like a whale. And the red one, Dawn, she can, use like rock powers. She can manipulate the ground in various ways. And Ray, she can use physical air strikes. And she can fly, even hover. She can use rock attacks. And she can even use like some sort of scary face. She looks to have the most potential out of all of them. And sometimes when these three are fighting, one of them goes into a more primal form. And this makes them extremely strong, it looks like. So, it looks like they have massive potential. You three kids have some great quirks. You're lucky. Mine wasn't that good. As Ray asked, like, what was your quirk, doctor? And doctor's like, I got like +5 IQ. And as he's lying about that, because secretly we know he's got like a life extension quirk. And he walks away. And they all go home eventually. And Izuku is super happy about his quirk, her quirk. And she's kind of creeped out about the green skin. And eventually, we fast forward all the way through middle school. And they slowly got more attached to their quirks. But the rivalry between the three of them only grew. And especially with Dawn and Kai. They got real into it sometimes. And I don't take that out of context. They had really big fights sometimes, and Deku would have to break them up a lot of the times. And Deku was seen as one of the strongest kids in their school, sitting next to Bakugo in this power scaling more so. And on the last day of school, the teacher walks in, and Ray is scolding Kai and Dawn, like, you guys need to stop fighting for real. When we go into high school, I don't know if they'll even tolerate this. And Kai's like, whatever. And Dawn's like, are you it's like, don't disrespect Kai. I'm sorry, guys. I am not used to these different names at all. Anyway, the teacher just is like, I'll wait. And they all stop talking. And that's when the teacher says, well, I got all your guys' preferences to see what job you want to have for your future. Who am I kidding? As he throws them up in the air. I know you all want to be great heroes. As Bakugo snarks at this, like, teacher, don't lump me in with these D-listers. They'd be lucky to even get a D-lister hero. A sidekick job to them. And Ray puts a hand on Bakugo's shoulder, like, what do you say to me, Bakugo? As and Bakugo's like, you heard me, brat. As they start yelling at each other. And Ray and Bakugo in this one have a really big rivalry. Okay, guys, so we'll continue this. And Deku and her squad are walking home from school, like, so what school did you guys sign up for? And they all in unison say, UA. And Ray is like, really? You really think all three of us can get in? And Don's like, well, it's kind of obvious I'm gonna get in. I'm the strongest one in our group. And Ray smacks him on the head like, know your place, Don. And Don's like, what do you say to me, Ray? We can go right here, right now. And Kai smacks him on the head and says to Don, like, you know she's stronger, Don. Don't even try. As they walk under an underpass, and the Sludge villain jumps all three of them, and he's like, he looks immediately to Don, like, you look like you have the strongest quirk, and he quickly deducts, and he tries to get Don's body, but as he's choking out Don pokes his eyes with her very sharp claws. And Don quickly deducts that she could just use her quirk, and she steps on the floor with her right foot, making a very sharp rock go into the Sludge villain's eye, and this really hurts the Sludge villain. It makes that one eye blind. And as this is happening, Deku and Kai are shooting moves at the Sludge villain, like air slashes, ancient powers, and like water pulses and waterfalls. And eventually the Sludge villain is launched away from them, and they all look to where the air pressure came from, and they all see in amazement as they all say it at once, All Might. And All Might's like, ho ho ho, I am here. As he asks, like, are you kids okay? And they all say in unison, yep, we're fine. But it doesn't look like that villain is. And All Might's like, yeah, it looks like them. Would you kids like my autograph? And they all shout like, yes, please. And All Might's like, well, I already did. That's how fast I am. And they're all amazed as All Might then quickly gets the Sludge villain and jumps off. And Deku is talking to them like, that was so cool, guys. As when they are walking home, Ray mysteriously, Dawn mysteriously disappears, and so does Kai. And Deku's like, wait, where'd they go, guys? Girls? And he starts looking for them. Little does they know they were both kidnapped by Team Magma and the other team. What are the Team Aqua? And in this what if, guys, they'll also be little like mafias. And those are the two main mafias besides the League of Villains and the Chiazai. And they've been watching the three of them for a while, and they weren't really interested in Deku's quirk, but they were interested in Team Magma being in Dawn and Aqua being in Kai. And Deku, realizing his friends could have been kidnapped, he goes into his mega form and immediately starts looking for them. And eventually he spots Dawn being taken away into a van, and with a giant air slash, it breaks the truck in half, revealing Dawn and some Team Magma grunts. And she immediately grabs Dawn and asks, as they're going to look for Kai, like, "Are you okay, Dawn?" And Dawn's like, "Yeah, I'm fine, but where's Kai? Last time I saw her, she was also being taken away." And Deku just thinks to herself, like, "Crap, I might not be able to catch up to them," as he's using his sharp eyesight to look through the windows of nearby vans he's seeing. And eventually he sees a very large amount of blue in one of the vans, and he finds Kai, and also uses a giant air slash and slashes it in half and gets Kai, as she goes back onto the ground and like, "Are you guys okay?" And Kai's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay though? I believe that form both of us can only hold for a couple seconds, at most a minute, but that would make us unconscious, and you've been doing that for 5 minutes. Are you really okay?" And Deku's like, "Yeah, I'm okay, but I am feeling a bit woozy," as she falls unconscious. And Kai and Dawn wait for her to get up, and about 10 minutes later, Deku gets up like, "Wait, what happened?" And Dawn and Kai are like, "Well, you kind of passed out for using your strong form too much." And Deku's like, "Well, figures." And 10 months later of harsh training, and they get to the UA. And they're all three of them are walking up to the UA campus, and it's like, we will become the number 1, 2, and 3 heroes, guys. We can promise us all that. And Dawn's like, you best believe. And Kai's like, "Well, at least I can hope for a second place." And Dawn's like, "What are you suggesting, Kai?" And Ray's like, "She's suggesting the obvious thing, that I'll be first and you'll be third, the weakest of us all." And Dawn's like, you wanna fight, Pipsqueak?" As they all start bickering, and eventually they walk into the exam, and they get they do the writing exam, and they all do fine, but Dawn didn't do particularly good, and Kai did the best, because as you can see in the picture, she kind of looks like a little nerd. And Deku also does really good, but Dawn doesn't do that good because she's a bit more headstrong. Yeah. So Deku and her squad go to the what's it called? The entrance exam part. And as they're all lining up, President Mike says, ready, set, go, as one kid immediately rushes off, and President Mike's like, you don't need a timer to be a hero. Go, 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 as they all start going. And Deku, well, actually I'm gonna say Deku and her squad were all put in different parts, different cities. And Deku ends up getting 120 points, Kai with 101, and Dawn with 130, because she was recklessly killing the robots, but she didn't account for the damage around the city, and she'd actually nearly decimated the entire city. And Deku and Kai didn't have any, so they were technically considered better at it. And 4 weeks later, Deku and her squad all receive a letter in the mail notifying them that they all got into UA. And they're all super excited. And they are all told that they will be attending Class 1A of the Hero course. And all of them knowing that is the top class, they're super excited. And the next day, they walk into class, all three of them. And Uraka and Ida they welcome all three of them. And that's how they make all through their first two friends, Uraka and Ida. They're already starting up the Deku squad. And Aizawa walks in like, 8 seconds. That's too long, kids. If you guys are going to talk that much, if you're just here to make friends, you might as well leave. And all of them just feel intimidated by Aizawa, he tells them all to get their gym uniforms on and meet him outside. As they all do that, Aizawa calls Dawn up and is like, you got the most points on the entrance exam. Throw this ball and see how far you can throw it. And Dawn's like, with pleasure. And she goes primal for a second and throws it as far as she can. But it goes 2,567 meters. As Dawn's like, that's a new record. As I was like, what do you mean a new record? Dawn's like, I do that in my backyard a ton. And as I was like, okay, not gonna ask. And Ray and Kai ended up getting 2,700 meters and 4,400 meters. And they all ended up doing great. Deku ends up getting second behind Momo. And Kai ended up getting third, with Dawn with fifth. Because she's headstrong. And Deku and his friends the next day meet up in All Might comes in for the next day and introduces himself as like, hello students, today we'll be doing hero versus villain training. You all meet me outside as you get your awesome hero costumes on. And they more so get bulkier clothes, kind of like this picture, and kind of get all the premise of this one. Yeah. And Deku and her squad all look out like, you guys look, it's like, why do we all have the same like design? And Deku's like, because we just know how we all feel. And as All Might calls the teams, like Team A will be Ray Midoriya and Kai insert last name. Team, well, B, C are all the same. And Team D being Ida and Dawn. And Dawn's like, oh, cool, I'm with Ida. As Bakugo's put into another team. And that's when All Might calls the matches, like, Team A versus Team D will be the first match. As Kai gets super excited, like, yes, I can finally freely beat up Dawn. And Ray's like, chill out, Kai. As the match starts, and Dawn was waiting right next to the exit, and immediately, with a stone edge, hits Ray and Kai into a wall on top of each other. And Dawn's like, I got you both now. And that's when Deku immediately hovers above the stone edge, like, you think? As Dawn goes to use another stone edge on Deku, as she is hit with very high pressurized water in the stomach. And Kai's like, don't forget about me. And Ida, as he is talking to Dawn, like, are you okay down there? Ida, and Ray is like, not really. Both of them are teaming up on me, and they're kind of getting an advantage on me. And Ida immediately runs down there and kicks Deku in the stomach, knocking her into a wall. It's like, Kai, you deal with Dawn, I'll deal with Ida. As they all start fighting. And all Class 1A is amazed with all the strength they are seeing on the camera. And that's when eventually Kai and Dawn go primal and go for one giant clash, as Kai goes for a very high pressurized water pulse, and Dawn goes for an earthquake. And as both of the moves collide, it ends in a draw. Both of them end up being knocked out. And Deku sees this like, crap, as he lifts Ida up in the air with a very good punch directed onto his jaw, and immediately charges him into the wall and bites him on the side of his armor, almost cracking it. And Ida's like, how is her teeth so strong? As he goes to knee her in the gut, but Deku uses ancient power, hitting Ida on both of his eyes, and now he can't see, and Deku throws him out of the building and picks up Kai, and as he's flying up the stairs, looking through the rooms, eventually finds the bomb and taps on it. And Deku and Kai start celebrating, like, let's go, we won! And Dawn wakes up eventually, like, what happened? And Kai's like, haha, I beat you. And Ray looks at Kai like, be quiet, you guys had a tie. And Dawn's like, I knew you couldn't beat me. And Ray looks at Dawn like, you didn't beat her either. And Dawn's like, I know. And that's where I'll be leaving off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all the support recently, as always. This is Izo's Cat signing off. Bye-bye.